On this episode of System Integrators Weekly, everywhere you look on the internet, system integrators are listing the 12th gen Intel processors. We don't know if they're good yet, but we can still compare prices. All that and more on this episode of System Integrators Weekly. Let's go, nerds! This episode of System Integrators Weekly is sponsored by CDKDeals. CDKDeals is an online marketplace that specializes in discounted, genuine Microsoft licenses and game keys for several different platforms. My viewers can get an additional 25% off with the discount code BRAY25. Let's get a Windows key. We'll opt for Windows 10 Pro for the enhanced security features. CDKDeals offers an OEM license for a fraction of the price of a retail key. The difference with an OEM key is that you can only use it on one system, but that should be all you need. You will need to make sure you either have Windows 10 Pro already installed or you perform a fresh installation, since OEM keys cannot be used to upgrade from Windows 10 Home if that's what you have installed currently. Here I entered BRAY25 to get 25% off. You can also click where it says Use Activity Discount for a small additional discount. Now our key for Windows 10 Pro is only $15.43. Pay with your method of choice, and once the payment goes through, click View Keys/Codes. Click Get the Key and copy it. Then just go to your Windows search, type in ACT, there it is. Click Activation Settings. My Windows install was already activated, so I'll be replacing that key, but yours should just say Activate Windows. Paste in the key, click Next, and activate, and you're done. Thank you, CDKDeals, for continuing to support the channel. Hello everyone, I'm Brayathorn. Welcome to System Integrators Weekly, where we're all excited. You're excited, we're excited, everybody is excited because after just months of teasing and hopes and wondering, it's finally here. That's right, hoodie weather is here. So go to rgbstore.tech and get your hoodie. Get a hoodie. It's got the LGN on the back. Okay, now obviously that's not what everybody's been waiting for all year. What everyone's actually been waiting for all year long is finally here. That's right, Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
It's just the best holiday of the year. Absolutely. Free candy, you get to dress up and nobody judges you and stuff. Okay, that's not it either. Okay, there's 12th gen Intel processors, right around the corner. We're talking a few days away. If you're watching this on the 31st of October, Halloween, or if you're watching it a day or two afterwards, it's imminent. It's coming. But if you're watching this later, you already know if it's good or not. We don't know if it's good or not. We have no idea. But it's at least a return to Intel trying, and that's good. Effort from Intel is one of those things that just sort of went away with barely a whisper, barely a whimper, just disappeared as they were too successful, and then Ryzen snuck up from behind and then stole its lunch. And that's what we've been for the last couple of years. So if you have been following the show and you purchased a Ryzen system, should you be concerned whether Intel is good or not? I mean, take a look at some of these charts here. Of course, it was actually Intel. Intel put these numbers up, and of course, you have to take manufacturers' reported benchmarks and frame rates and performance measurements with a grain of salt, a giant grain of salt, a boulder of salt, if you will. There are things like vague measurements where the actual frame rates is 1.0 an actual frame rate. That would be really slow. That would be 1 frame per second. That's nearing, a slideshow performance, okay? So we have no idea what this means. Also, there's cherry picking, where they pick games in which Intel is favored. That's what any manufacturer does. AMD is not innocent of this themselves. So, take this with a major grain of salt. We have yet to see whether the numbers are actually reflective of this in more games, because I highly doubt that the entirety of the gaming community just plays these 9 games that you see here. However, it should be, and will hopefully be, a big step for Intel. meaning that yes, Ryzen will take a backseat to being the absolute best choice for gaming. We have yet to see whether they are the second best choice for multitasking and content creation, multi-threaded processes in general, because although they label the 12900K as a 16-core processor, it is actually 8 performance cores, or P cores, it's P cores, and 8 E cores, or efficiency cores. There are benefits to this, because when you have, say, a 12-core 5900X, 12-core 24-thread 5900X, every one of those is a P core. It's P core. Anyway, why would they call them that? Why would they do that? Anyway, whatever. Every one of those is a performance core, but they also have to carry the load of doing all the background processing. Intel made an example of a content creation workflow where they exported video from Premiere Pro, and then that went to the efficiency cores while the performance cores went to working in Adobe Lightroom. So that kind of thing obviously has appeal. But whether it will actually be faster is hard to say. It's likely that it will be, and we should hope that it's faster. We should hope that this is better than Zen 3 Ryzen. The reason for that is this kind of competition is what drives technology and advancement. Because AMD's just been wiping the floor with Intel. And that's not up for debate, by the way. Although 11th gen Intel may have had higher frame rates in a few games. In every other way, the higher end Zen 3 processors were just dominating. What we really want is the leapfrog effect. AMD's better. Boom. Intel's better. AMD's better. Intel's better. That's what we want, because that's how PC gaming and PC technology in general advances. With all that in mind, if you did just get yourself a Ryzen platform system, do not fret, even if these come out to be better than even we're expecting, because AMD still has yet to release their 3D cache versions of the 5000 series Ryzen processors. That is supposed to be near the end of the year, but it's probably going to be closer to the beginning of next year. Who knows? They've been a bit quiet about it lately as far as I've seen. So it's been all Intel all over the news. That's how that is. So now also, if you're not in the higher budget range, don't even worry about 12th gen Intel. It's expensive. It's going to be pricey. They're actually, where Intel was recently the more budget option, and AMD was the higher budget option and higher performance option, that's going to flip as well, because Intel's going ahead and just raising the prices on these. There's a lot of R&D that goes into this. That's part of their return on investment, is just raising their prices. So bold move from Intel, but not unexpected. If you're interested in 12th gen Intel, there's a couple things that you need to keep in mind. Come here, come closer. Windows 11 is a must. DDR5 is going to be expensive. Okay? Let's talk about Windows 11 first. In order to get the P-core and E-core thing working, you need a scheduler to work a certain way. And that's all worked into Windows 11. To where if you're running several processes, the scheduler's job is to figure out what's supposed to go to what core. So, if you want that to work, you need Windows 11. That's it. That's the end of the statement. DDR5 is the new memory technology, and you cannot, although there was speculation that you'd be able to just hot swap your memory between DDR4 and DDR5 in the same slots, they do not indeed fit into the same slots. You're going to need to get a specific motherboard if you want 12th gen Intel with DDR4, or if you want 12th gen Intel with DDR5. Supposedly there's a motherboard coming out with slots for both. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be interesting. But there are some great advancements with DDR5 that Linus Tech Tips did a fantastic video on. There's some parts where it gets a little bit dull if you're not into that stuff, but I am. I love that whole video. But all you really need to know is that they seem to be working on it. They seem to potentially have an answer for the higher latency that comes with the higher frequency and higher capacities. And the capacities on DDR5 are going to be absolutely bananas. By capacity, I mean, we talk about 16 gigs of RAM, 2 sticks of 8 gigs each. Well, that's going to be a thing of the past with DDR5. I know this beginning portion is running a bit long, but this is important because this is right around the corner, and you might be watching this after it came out. If you're on board with being an early adopter, that's cool, but just know what comes with that. You're going to be experiencing some bugs, like the DRM issue with older games that have DRM. You're going to be getting updates, like they recently had to do updates for Ryzen systems that had Windows 11. Apparently that's fixed. I'm going to test that myself, actually, with the system that I have from iBUYPOWER right over there. Just take your time deciding on that, because although I am accustomed to being an early adopter and I may find myself on an Intel 12th gen system at some point, earlier than this, generally you want to give it 6 months to a year before you jump on board. That way, DDR5 prices can start to drop to something near what DDR4 prices are, and also you can maybe avoid the whole rush of trying to buy the processor yourself. Now, of course, around here we don't really worry about buying a processor by itself to build into a system. If you're a builder, that's awesome. If you're worried about whether you're going to be able to buy your 12900K when it's released, you probably won't. Bots are going to buy all of them. And even if you did, what GPU are you going to use? You got to rely on luck if you want to buy a GPU standalone, meaning you have to win the Newegg shuffle, which I'm not a fan of, or the lottery. You could win the lottery as well and just buy one off of eBay for 3 times the price. It's ridiculous trying to buy a GPU, but what we do around here is we find these deals through pre-built system integrators or custom computer builders. So what we're going to do in this video is we are going to go around looking at some of these system integrators because they're already listing these things for pre-order. We're going to see who's going to be having the better deals. When I say deals, what I'm going to look for is not a 12900K system. If you're not doing something like content creation, you have to understand you don't really need a 12900K. The gaming processors are usually going to be a 12600K, right? The 600 series. Also, usually the 400 series would be a decent option as well, but those aren't really being announced yet, or not that I've seen. Or the 700 series, so the 12700K, right? And the reason we're looking for that K at the end of it, of course, is that makes it an unlocked and overclockable processor, but I don't know that they're even talking much about the non-K SKUs, so who cares about the non-K SKUs? We're not going to look at those. We're not looking at OEMs because proprietary stuff, no thank you. We're not looking at retailers like Best Buy or Amazon or Newegg for reasons that I've listed many times before. We're looking directly at the system integrators. But before we get into them, know this. There be disclaimers, all right? Disclaimer 1. This was filmed for October 31st, 2021. Yes, happy Halloween. Any pricing and availability that you see here is highly subject to change. Bear that in mind when you go looking for it on your own. Next part is, as you just heard for a while there, a lot of this is going to be affected by my own opinions. However, my opinions are mostly based in my experience as a longtime PC builder, PC gamer, and just IT person. That's another thing. You feel free to disagree. I'm totally down with that. This is a time for discussion and discourse, and I'm totally open to that. So drop those politely disagreeing comments in the comments below, and or join the Discord, because it's a great community. We're getting up to almost 1,000 people, and some cool stuff's gonna be happening there when we hit 1,000. And also jump on the stream. I stream on Twitch 3 times a week, every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, all around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time at twitch.tv/Braithorn. Hope to see you there. It's honestly, genuinely a really, really good time. Like, seriously. Cool. So let's move right into this. I went looking first. One of the main things I recommend, and you guys have heard this before if you've been here before, I recommend iBUYPOWER's same-day ready systems if you're in a hurry. Now, of course, these are already built and ready to ship, so they're not going to have any 12th gen Intel products. But I did see one really great Ryzen product here that I want to show you. And this is an interesting option here because before, this system had a LAN cool to mesh case around it. But in this case, they're using an InWin 305 which is a pretty cool case. Now, you look at the front, it's all tempered glass and aluminum. Beautiful case, but where's the airflow? Well, it's bottom intake, top side exhaust, and it does tend to work pretty well. Not the highest airflow case on the market, but still not the worst. And of course, you got a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler and a prime motherboard. And this also has a giant GPU. What could that be? Well, that would be a 3080 and a 5800X processor. Fantastic processor, great for gaming, great for multi-threaded processes. I use this thing for everything myself, for content creation, gaming, streaming, all of that. And this 16 gigs of 3200 megahertz RAM is not great. You'd want to upgrade that yourself. Does come with Windows 11. Keep that in mind. The price on this, for those two highly sought after components, is $24.99. This right here is under their custom PC builder, and it's their 12th gen Z690, nice, Core i7 configurator. So that's going to be, Core i7 means you're going to get a 12700KF, as it comes with a 3060 Ti. Fantastic price to performance GPU, although price is all over the place, generally speaking. There's a few things wrong with this. Let's customize it. My suggestion, if you're just gaming, is to go for the 12600KF, okay, on each of these system integrators. We're going to try to do 12600K or KF and 3060 Ti on all these different system integrators. So switch to that, save $122. One other thing to consider when it comes to 12th gen Intel, the shape of the processor is different. It is no longer squared off, it is now more elongated, as you can see right here. Whereas the Core i9 10900K and 11900K were both roughly square, the 12900K is elongated and it is rectangular. So a lot of these CPU blocks, they're not going to cover the entirety of the IHS, or the integrated heat spreader. If you don't have something making contact with all this surface area around here, you get less efficient cooling. But there are all-in-one liquid coolers coming out, and also air coolers coming out, that are designed. They have the cold plate designed to make full contact with the rectangular IHS. I don't think any of these listed here have that feature. So stick with whichever the cheapest one is that they have here, and if you're experiencing any thermal issues, upgrade your cooler to one that is designed for 12th gen Intel. When we're looking at this RAM here, well, where's DDR5? What you're going to see is this. You see D4. You see that D4? Right there. That means it is DDR4. They all seem to say DDR4. What gives? Well, iBUYPOWER seems to have made the decision to force you into using DDR4 motherboard. Let's go ahead and just forego the iBUYPOWER custom build then. And yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, let's move on to CyberPower. Now, CyberPower has this whole thing that you can get to from the main page, where it's this whole explanation about Intel, and it's all marketing jargon, but then you just go all the way down here and you can see some of their offerings. So there are some high-end options, and if I see a good high-end option, I'll point it out. But let's take a look right here at this one, because it comes in a great high airflow case, and it's a 12600K with a 2060. We'll just upgrade the GPU, customize right there, and yeah, here we can go from the 2060 up to a 3060 Ti. That is $200, but it's a huge jump in performance. And we can go with the Corsair RM series, fully modular, 80 plus gold. Heck yes.
Nope.
There you go. Now, as for the motherboard, let's see, DDR4 and then separate section for DDR5. CyberPower, you did it right. You did good, son. Okay, so DDR5 is going to be down here, and it already did it. So DDR5, 4800 megahertz. And yes, I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's like what they're starting at, more or less. Something to really pay attention to here is 16 gigs of memory for gaming sounds fine, and it is fine, usually. However, you'll notice here that this is a 16 gig by 1, so it's a single memory module right there, a single stick, rather than going fully dual channel. But it says dual channel memory. No, it's not dual channel memory if it's a single stick. Maybe it's DDR, it's double data rate, but it's not dual channel. So you basically have to go 32 gigs. So right here, looking here, you get a 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue SN550. Yes, I know, it's not the fastest M.2, but you get a full terabyte and it's minus $50. You could also go easily with a 1 terabyte PCIe Gen 4. Now, you might be yelling at your monitor or a TV or phone right now, depending on what you're watching this on, and yelling at Braethorn. One of the things about the Z690 nice motherboards is that they support PCIe Gen 5. Where are all the PCIe Gen 5 storage options? They don't exist yet. That was you can't do anything with that. It doesn't exist yet. But pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, every M.2 socket on a motherboard for 12th gen Intel, which is of course a Z690 motherboard, nice, is PCIe Gen 4. So going PCIe Gen 4, not a bad idea. Now, of course, this is CyberPowerPC, and they won't pack it nicely by default, because that's just how they roll. So go on down all the way down here and select the, oh my God, quote unquote, ultra enhanced packaging solution, where they actually use the Instapak expanding foam in there. $19, worth every penny. Now, I did already check AVADirect, okay? And I saw that they've got the 12th gen Core, Intel Core desktop processors right there on the front page. And boy, she is gaming. Look at that. I mean, how many screens is this? They're floating. How did 12th gen get floating screens? It's Tony Stark time now, guys, because of Intel 12th gen. No, it's just marketing picture. I went ahead and looked at their thing where it says buy now, and if you click that, it'll open up a separate window and you get the same thing. You can tell this is all standardized that you saw on the CyberPower site, and then their prospective builds, although they narrow it down more, which is good. I went ahead and chose the Z690 Tower Gaming PC, hit pre-order, and then that lets you go here to customize it. Okay. Comes with a P400A digital, fantastic looking case, fantastic performing case, similar, same one as the one that CyberPowerPC included, although they may not have a digital, so you may need to add fans to your CyberPower system, just a heads up. So I went in here and I changed up a few things as if I was getting it for myself. What would I do? So they have the Asus Prime Z690A, which is just look at that. That is nice. Okay, then we went with the 12600KF. Of course, they say delayed shipping because it's delayed until they can actually sell the thing. And then in RTX 3060 Ti, right there, a promo, but no delayed shipping on this. There you go. And this has an EVGA 750 power supply, which we can go with a 650, but it's not a huge price difference, so we'll go with the 750. It's fine. Now, I'm still not sure about the cooler here, so I left it on the Be Quiet Pure Rock 2, which is, and you can go with the no CPU cooling fan. Honestly, you can go with that. If there's one included, go with that. $59 off, and then get yourself a good cooler for this, okay? One that is specifically designed for 12th gen Intel. Now, I know some all-in-one liquid cooler manufacturers and some air cooler manufacturers are going to be shipping the mounting hardware for LGA 1700, the socket for 12th gen Intel. I know that. That doesn't mean the cold plate actually is going to grow when you put that new mounting hardware in there. So bear that in mind. I went with a crucial 1 terabyte P5 Plus. Price on this thing is very attractive. $21.69. Now that is without a Windows key. So you can't tell them to install Windows 10 and not activate it for you. But what they do is they'll install an operating system for you and then just leave it unactivated. However, you could always just go to my sponsor, CDKDeals, link in the description below, and buy yourself a Windows 10 key for about $15, $16. Still, I can recommend this build. It's quite nice. I'll have the link in the description below. I'm not affiliated with these guys. I don't make anything off of that, but I will have some links in the description to some of these builds. Now, let's move on to Maingear, because Maingear they have the processors. However, they're doing the same thing iBUYPOWER is doing. So we're kind of going to skip over Maingear. And they're saying DDR4 only, buddy. We're not taking any risks. No risks. Unless maybe you can choose the DDR4. No. So sorry, Maingear. Try to keep up, buddy. Going over to Digital Storm. Digital Storm did have DDR5. And it's honestly
not too bad on the price, although the problem here is that they don't have the 12600K listed as what price they're going to get. I'm fairly certain that Intel's going to be pushing the 12700K and the 12900K more than the others. It's a higher dollar product, right? But overall, it's quite a good build. 32 gigs of DDR5 in this one with 5200 megahertz, not the 4800 megahertz. And you know what? We don't need this 850 watt. We can lower that to 650. Well, we can't. They don't have a 650 watt. And with this 1 terabyte SSD M.2, and we may be able to change that to a PCIe Gen 4, which I'm going to be recommending. I'm going to recommend a PCIe Gen 4 for 12th gen Intel, because you can utilize it. In fact, every socket can utilize that. Anyway, 3060 Ti, there you go. Now you can take $94 off to get the Intel standard factory heatsink and fan, but honestly, you know, $94 for a 240 millimeter AIO is not too bad. There are cheaper ones, and then get yourself your own high quality and designed for 12th gen Intel AIO later on. 2763 because we upgraded the main drive, but this is with a 12700K. And then we have right here Origin. No, I don't need help. Leave me alone. Now Origin is they do have a DDR5 motherboard. It is the Asus ROG Maximus Z690. Nice. Hero DDR5. So it's one of the top of the line ones. You're not going to see a something like the Prime A. You're going to see just one of the higher end ones. That's fine, I guess, for Origin. Their stuff is pretty premium, price wise. That's what I'm trying to do is DDR5. Cool. So you upgraded the memory too. Oh, cool. It went up to $3,000. Holy jeez. Is there another option for? No, nope. More expensive. There you go. And good lord, Origin, y'all done disqual 200. This thing costs $3144 with a 3060 and a 240 gig M.2 drive. My God, Origin, what are y'all putting in your systems to make them cost this much? It is $12 more for a 3060 Ti for roughly like 30% more performance. Yeah, we're gonna click that button. Looking at some of these prices, there's one system integrator I really want to talk about here that I did one of these builds on, and that would be Artesian Builds. Because looking at this, of course, you can choose a different case if you want. If you want any case that's just not listed on their site, you can just email them after your purchase and say, actually, I want this LANcool 2 mesh in white or whatever. If they know it's not garbage for whatever reason, they'll get it for you. But 12600 KF right there for processor, Asus Prime Z690A, 240 millimeter AIO, and I would talk to them about the AIO, make sure that it is suited for a 12th gen Intel processor. 16 gigs of DDR5, 4800 megahertz, and it does look like it's 2 sticks, so that's good. But if it is a single stick, you want to go up to 32 gigs. Keep that in mind. A 3060 Ti, 750 watt, gold rated fully modular power supply, and a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. Of course, this does come with Windows 11 Home, and I took the Wi-Fi off. If you need Wi-Fi, you can get that. AVADirect had the best price. However, with this, you get to watch it being built on stream, and you get the best warranty in the industry with 5 years labor, 3-year parts. Most other system integrators are short on that, but you can pay extra to get that added on, meaning the price difference. Oh, it's cheaper over here. Guess what? Make the warranty match. See if it's still cheaper. It won't be. So yeah, I mean, this is a solid build, solid company. If you need to RMA your system back to them, and it's not because you did something like kicking your system down the stairs or, you know, tossing a bowl of ramen onto it or whatever, then they pay for shipping there and back. Yeah. Oh, hey, wait, hold on. There's a coupon code place. Yeah, I'm just gonna. What can I put in there? Let's just mess around. Let's see. We can put hello. No, that didn't work. How about let me put my name in there? just for kicks. Let me see. Braithorn. Whoa, wait, what? It took $50 off the system? $49.18? Wow, now that's $24.09. That's so weird. You know what? You should click the link for this system in the description. Try putting your name in there. Maybe that'll work. Maybe it just takes your name and it just like, and you know what? If your name doesn't work, put my name in there. Put Braithorn in there. Maybe it'll work. It will. It will. That's my coupon code. It's Braithorn. Anyway, watching your system being built live on stream is one of the coolest experiences you will have, period. Plus, if people are donating or gifting subs or whatever, if that happens, that can go towards upgrades for your build. Just gonna put that out there. Not guaranteed, but it can happen. Now, please be aware, if you're in a rush to get your system, Artesian is not the right choice for you, unless you already have like a GPU or something, because then they can build it faster. But yeah, it is a 3 to 6 week processing time between when your PC order is placed to when it is built live on the Twitch stream. As you can imagine, that takes time to arrange all that stuff, but they do contact you a week before your stream comes up. But if you do order from Artesian, let us know in the Discord when your build's coming up. We like to hang out for community builds. It's awesome. It's really, like, we hype it up. You wouldn't believe it. It's just fun time. If you guys know someone who needs a PC or wants more PC info or just wants to hang out and chat about computers on stream or whatever, share the video, share the stream, let them know. Bring them into the fold, bring them into the community, because I gotta tell you, if you're not a part of the Discord, and looking at the fact that they've got over 7,000 subscribers and under 1,000 people in the Discord, you're probably not. You should be. The Discord is rad, and the people in there are awesome, and you're probably awesome, so you belong in there. Once we hit 1,000 people, Discord exclusive giveaways. Hey, speaking of giveaways, we announced the winner of the giveaway on Saturday on the big Halloween spooky stream, which I'm recording a day earlier because that's gonna happen. So for me, it's tomorrow, but for you, it was yesterday, or many days before if you're watching this way later. And that means that we would have had a winner for the Govee Immersion Kit on the Gleam giveaway. And I don't know who that is yet, but their name's gonna be right here. Congratulations. Just get in contact with me if you didn't already know you're the winner, and we'll ship it out to you. That, of course, assuming you're in North America. Give me a holler, DM me in Discord. That means you have to join the Discord. Oh no! And hit me up, and we'll get that. There was other stuff. There was merch. There was other giveaways, and I am making an assumption that it was a rad stream. Somebody out there, one of the streamers that joined me, if it wasn't me that won the pumpkin carving contest or the costume contest, is gonna get one of these trophies. Pumpkin carving contest and the costume contest. These things are awesome. Look at that. Had these custom made. It's like black marble for the bases. Just gorgeous. Here, you can see what it looks like. Now it's time to move on to the comment of the week. And the comment of the week for this week was a very recent one. This one comes from Keith Kuhn. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Why are there so many YouTube sources for gamers, but no one wants to tell you the best system for non-gamers? Well, that's actually a really good question, because that's something that you see a lot of all over the place, is like gaming PCs, but there's a reason for that. First off, for non-gaming systems, just look at the price, and usually the higher it goes, the better it will be for general computing, right? But if you're looking for something for content creation or for video editing in general, or 3D graphics, 3D rendering, or any particular industry purpose, you just put that purpose and then you put PC or computer, and then you'll find that, and you might find YouTube videos about that. But if you're just browsing YouTube for computer videos, it is going to be centered around gaming PCs. Largely due to the fact that most people who would watch YouTube about PCs would be someone looking for a gaming PC. But the other side of that coin here is the fact that PC gaming, especially throughout 2020 and 2021, has grown hugely, largely due to the pandemic, but also it was just a growing industry in general. As more and more, say, console exclusive games are becoming more available on the PC, and people are realizing that PC gaming is becoming the hub for gaming. In a lot of ways, it really is. I mean, look at the newer Xbox. It is, in a lot of ways, trying to be a PC already. You have a whole browser in there where you can play browser games and stuff. It's better on a PC. So here are some numbers. Global sales of gaming PCs grew by 16.2% during 2020. That's a lot of percents. And then, thanks in no small part to the COVID-19 pandemic and its stay-at-home orders. But the growth isn't forecasted to end there. Data from UK-based safe betting site suggests the trend will continue through at least 2024 and will result in 25% growth by that point. That is a huge, on a global scale, that is huge. So, gaming PCs, if a computer is good at gaming, it's generally going to be good at doing your homework and watching videos and doing all of the other things that are not industry specific or hobby specific. If you want to have a computer that can game and edit video, that's two different things that have somewhat different system requirements. You don't need as much system memory or RAM for gaming as you do for video editing, which requires a lot of RAM. You need faster RAM for gaming, but RAM speed for video editing isn't quite as important as just sheer capacity. There's a lot of things to consider there when you're looking at an industry or hobby specific PC use case like that. But when it comes to gaming, it is kind of ubiquitous. If you're going to have a PC and you're an enthusiast of any kind, you're probably going to play some games on there. So yeah, gaming PC, gaming is almost becoming synonymous with PC. And they're harder and harder to separate. If you want a PC that is just going to be good for whatever purpose, you don't really have to go out looking too hard because you're not going to stress it out if you're not gaming on it. I do recommend staying away from most OEMs if you're going for a gaming PC. Lenovo Legion somewhat gets a pass, but honestly, no, good question. And I do appreciate that, and I do apologize that I don't focus more on just standard PCs, but that's not really what is... There's not much of a shortage of non-gaming PCs out there. The shortage is on GPUs, and the advancements are towards gaming and demanding multi-threaded processes like content creation, photo editing, video editing, music production. All of these things have different requirements. Now, if you have any one of those requirements and you need help figuring out, well, wait, he said that video editing is different from gaming. Wait, so my gaming PC is not going to be necessarily good at video editing, but I want to edit videos. If you need help figuring out what's right for you, and this goes for you too, Keith, if you just want a PC for whatever reason, and you want one-on-one help, I got options for you. You can join my stream 3 times a week, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hop in the queue by typing an _join in the chat. And then when I get to you, well, I'll help you out one-on-one. I tend to get distracted there though, because I am streaming and I do have a chat, and it's getting to where it's pretty much 50 or more people like all the time. So if you want more focused attention, I do consultations, and I do them on a one-on-one basis via Discord call, although I can do Zoom as well if you prefer that, but I recommend that you DM me on Discord to get that going. Or you can email me. I have my business email right there in my About tab. It is breathorn.biz@gmail.com. I don't have my own domain yet. I'm not really needing one yet. Beyond that, if you just want to get a couple questions answered, the Discord is the place to go. And it's a genuinely cool environment, a cool community with cool people. If you want to see some of the products of some of these things I talk about, you want to see photos taken in person, go to the Rigs channel. If you want to just chat about tech, go to Tech Discussions. You want to chat about gaming, go to Games. You want to chat about anime, go to Weeb Central. Well, that'll do it for this video. And if you got any questions, please let me know. And until the next one, take care.